I'm Bobby Rhine for FCDallas.com. History has been made for FC Dallas as they secured passage into the CONCACAF Champions League group phase behind a 2-0 aggregate scoreline over Alianza of El Salvador. Here's a look at our CCL preview. 16 teams have qualified for the group phase of the CONCACAF Champions League. Group C is where FC Dallas has been drawn, along with Pumas of Mexico, Toro of Panama, and Toronto FC of Canada. Let's take a look at each opponent that FC Dallas will face, starting with Pumas. Pumas are 7-time Mexican Primera Division champions. They have qualified for CCL play by virtue of winning the 2011 Clausura Championship when they defeated Morelia. The Mexican club is an early favorite to win the entire continental competition. Now moving on, it's Toro FC of Panama. Toro FC is the most titled club in all of Panama, claiming 8 championships in their club history. They reached the group phase of the CCL by winning the 2010 Apertura Championship. Now for FC Dallas, it's the most familiar club in all of CONCACAF Champions League group play, Toronto FC of Canada. Toronto FC is the only Canadian club to represent Major League Soccer in this continental competition. It's their 3rd consecutive CCL appearance, and they qualified for the group phase by defeating Real Esteli of Nicaragua 4-2 on aggregate score. Now that we've learned a little bit about each of FC Dallas's opponents, here are a few thoughts about how Group C could potentially shake out. FC Dallas has added 6 games to their very busy schedule. Fact of the matter is, it's a busy schedule for all 4 of these teams that are competing in the group phase of the CONCACAF Champions League. Well, where does it all shake out? How does it play out now for FC Dallas? They get the most difficult match first when they travel down to Pumas in Mexico City. Keep this in mind, there has never been a Major League Soccer team that has won south of the border. That is the most difficult place to play and a very difficult fixture for FC Dallas to visit, travel, and find a result there when facing Pumas, who is a very heavy favorite to not only win the entire competition, but perhaps the group as well. When you look at Toronto FC, this is one interesting fact that I found most recently. In the most recent league match for Toronto, the 11 starters in that game, only one of them started for Toronto FC on opening day. They've had a lot of turnover. They're a newly inspired team behind the play of Danny Koevermans, the designated player, the Dutchman who's been scoring goals for them. Torsten Frings, the former Werder Bremen captain, plays in the center of midfield. He's an impactful player, but the truth of the matter is these 2 teams have played each other once or twice before, rather. FC Dallas has won both of those games by a score of 1-0. So that's a very familiar opponent. How's it all going to shake out? I still prefer FC Dallas to move on and have some success against Toronto FC. Toro FC, they're a little bit of an unknown in this group phase. They did win the 2010 Apertura Championship, but we're not quite sure what we'll see from that Toro FC team. We know that traveling to Panama will be a difficult task. And you know, you look at FC Dallas and you just wonder if they're going to have the ability to go down there and get 3 points. If they could, that's certainly a bonus, but securing a draw, there's nothing wrong with that either. Now, I did say before that Pumas, I think, is the heavy favorite. I think and expect them to perhaps win this group phase, Group C. For FC Dallas, I do expect them to advance to the quarterfinal stage. How do they do that? They have to finish in the top 2 of this qualifying championship, or the group phase rather. So look for them to secure the 2nd position in this overall championship. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for FC Dallas. Let's look to see how it all shakes out. But ultimately, 2 road tasks to start, 2 home games, and then they'll go on the road to Toro, and they'll come back home to close out against Toronto FC. It's a lot in favor for FC Dallas. All the teams are very busy, but expect FC Dallas to secure passage. It's an honor and a privilege for FC Dallas to take part in this continental competition. They are one of only 5 Major League Soccer clubs to do so. Of the 16 teams competing in this tournament, only 1 will go on to the FIFA Club World Championship. Make sure you check in with FCDallas.com for all of your CCL information. For FCDallas.com, I'm Bobby Rhine.